Hello, everyone. So we all know about this Gombeen, to put it nicely. So this is the Irish Taoiseach, supposed to be our leader, the chieftain, as they say. So we often heard him saying about Irish people being mongrels, first of all. Second of all, he doesn't believe in the backwards looking idea of sovereignty. We're fully committed to the ideas of the European Union. And this is the man that's the leader of this country, just to say. And now he's obviously they're very upset with Irish flags too. They hate them. They think they're far right extremism. But then now they hate saying that Ireland belongs to the Irish or Ireland for the Irish, which is insane. Incitement to violence. Like, are you mad? Are you a bit unwell? Because let's be fair. Regardless of what country you're from, if you're from Poland, Poland belongs to the Polish people. If you're from Finland, Finland belongs to the Finns. Norway belongs to the Norwegians. It's simple as that. And same with Ireland belongs to the Irish. And if that's far right extremist, so be it. Arrest me for it. But long story short, that's just the truth. Take for example in Finland. Finland had to fight to be an independent country still now during the Winter War. Take for example, countries have fought hard to be independent, to be sovereign, to be indefeasible. And this fellow doesn't believe in anything. So just to bring you over to the Irish Proclamation, this was read outside the GPO in 1916 when Irish freedom fighters went into the GPO. And coincidentally, they wanted to destroy the GPO, the General Post Office in Dublin, the place where men and women gave their lives so we could live freely, so we could have an independent day. So this man here could have a job and a big pension. Because if they didn't go out, the same with the people during the War of Independence, they were fighting the Black and Tans in the British occupation. If these people didn't go out and give their lives and give everything, so this country wouldn't so their children could live freely. Not that they were looking for any honour and glory. They were hoping that one day their children, their grandchildren, could live in a free Irish state. And it's insulting to every person that gives their life to this country that this is the fellow that's the leader of this country, supposed to be the chieftain. But, long story short, it's not so much of a chieftain. But, so it pretty much, this is right outside the GPO, and they have horrible issues with this. The Irish government hate this document because it says that Ireland has its right to sovereignty, has its right to be free, and has its right, and it pretty much says everything that the government despises, of sovereignty and independence. And that Ireland should always be forced, and Irish people should always come first. We declare the right of the people of Ireland to the ownership of Ireland. They hate that. They despise that, saying that the Irish people have ownership of their own country. Imagine that. Imagine saying such a thing in the 80s or the 90s, that your own country, Ireland, has no right to its ownership, that the people of Ireland has no right to its ownership. And that means that Ireland belongs to the Irish, quite literally. That quite literally, because the people of Ireland is not the government. The government are just the caretakers. The people of Ireland own Ireland. The people of Ireland own it. Simple as that. It's not owned by the government. And she's under the control of Irish decency to be sovereign and indefensible. And again, they hit the idea of sovereignty, the backwards looking idea of sovereignty, Micheál Martin famously said. Of course, the majority of people in the government agree with that too. None of them are willing to go and say that. But as I say, this proclamation, if you go through it, if you ever get chats, if you ever didn't go through it, it really tells you, and particularly when they hate the idea of God, and they hate the idea, they want to take God out of everything in this country. The Most High God, you see it many times referenced, that, being a Christian country and stuff, that they were Christian people and they believed that what they were doing is righteous and just. And just to say, these men that signed this proclamation gave their lives. They were executed by firing squad for rebellion, basically, against the British Crown. And I would shudder to think what they would think 100 and so years on from the Easter Rising. What would they think of Micheál Martin, Micheál? What would they think of him? That these men give their lives, because pretty much what this document says, it tells them why they did it, and what they believed in, and their values, and what they hoped that one day they wouldn't see it. They knew when they signed this document they would never see that day. But they hoped that their children, their grandchildren, the people of Ireland would see a better tomorrow and would live freely in a free, sovereign, independent state. And it's really insulting, and it should be insulting to every citizen of this country, that these men died for our freedom, not for their freedom, for our freedom, for us to live in this country, for this flag to be up, for this Gombeen to come out and say this kind of gobshite, along with a few other statements about Irish people being mongrels, and then obviously too a backwards looking idea of sovereignty, then other stuff too. And then take, for example, the GPO. What to do with the GPO? It's nearly treason. Like, it's borderline treason. Half of the stuff that's coming out of this government at the moment. Like, it is the most anti-Irish government in history. Like, there's no doubt about it. If the Irish government came along in the 80s or the 90s or even the 70s or the 60s, the country would have up in arms. Like, there would have been open rebellion, to be totally honest, if the country came out and the Taoiseach at the time came out and said this, because they simply wouldn't listen to it. They wouldn't listen to that gun being shit. That this carry on. That these people died for this, and these people that are in government think like this. Nobody would, because the majority of Irish people, don't believe in this government and believe in every word this proclamation says, because these people didn't talk. They went out and took action, and it's insulting. It should be insulting to every Irish citizen. This Taoiseach, the chieftain, comes out with this, and it's insane to suggest that it's incitement to violence. It's insane. It's absolutely inconceivable, because regardless if you're from Pakistan or you're from India, India belongs to the Indians and Pakistan belongs to the Pakistanis. Same with any other country. Simple as that. But you're in Ireland, regardless. If somebody's offended by an Irish person saying that, you're in Ireland. It belongs to the Irish. It's simple as that. Everybody belongs to some country. Simple as that. But when you're here, Ireland belongs to the Irish. And simple as that. Nobody, and as it says in the proclamation, that the Irish people have the ownership of Ireland. It's not, and no other country, no foreign government has the right to extinguish that right. It's very important. Again, when you go through it, like it says, no foreign people and government has the right to extinguish our control of our own country, our sovereignty, our independence. And it says that they're in the most clearest language, and this is the whole foundation of our country. Everything that they believed, that they sacrificed, that they gave for this country. I only hope Micheál Martin will change his ways, but I think I have false hope in that. But I only hope that the Irish people can see through this rubbish that is being presented in front of them, because it is insane to think of it. And it's not so much of a left or right. I think it's going by this document and remembering the people that gave everything for this country so we could be here. It's not so much a left or right issue. It's nothing to do with politics. It's to do with memory and to do with where we come from. Where we come from, a whole identity, a whole soul, a whole foundation of our state. What these people stood for, what they stood and what they hoped for the future. Because all these men and women that went out had hope, had a dream that one day this country could be free and that their children, their grandchildren, our children could have a better future than they had. And unfortunately now in modern Ireland, that future seems to be getting diminished more by the day for the next generation of Irish people. So let me know what you think. There's a lot more I could say, but I'm very I don't know what the word is, but sickening. Sickening is one of the words, because it is sickening to see a man that's supposed to be the Taoiseach. Wouldn't mind if it was some other country, some prime minister or president of another country, or some person from an ordinary citizen. I wouldn't mind so much. But this is the Taoiseach. This is the Prime Minister of Ireland, who is supposed to lead the country, and this is the carry on. It's insane. But anyway, thank you everyone. Goodbye.